G'day YouTube, warbles on a lot here, and as you can see there is something not quite right with this picture. This probably year-old ultraviolet swimming pool cover, as well as a whole lot of hailstone damage. It has had that hole there for quite a while, but a couple of days ago it acquired this great big bloody swamp wallaby sized hole, and I heard the splash and I saw the swamp wallaby jumping out, and I thought, shit, I bet you put your toenail through the bottom. And I came over here and I found, as more or less expected, right there in the centre of the frame, about there-ish, there's a big oval hole, and there's a crack going zig 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 along there. It's yeah, the swamp wallaby's done a really good job. I've looked at all the rest of the bottom around here, and that there is the problem, and it's losing about 400 litres a day. And yeah, that's about where the crack starts, and it goes down through there to the big black bit there. And so yeah, as he's launched, he's really let go. I mean, these are other ones. You know, I remember I patched about 13 different holes, and various people said it wasn't going to last. Well, it lasted real good until my mate, and I don't know whether it's Sir Galahad, Felicity's son, or whether it was one of her granddaughters who's recently come back. But anyway, a swamp wallaby did it. So now I've got to deal with it, which is initially going to involve using this hose and this pump to transfer as much water from there into this as this will hold. And the grand plan following that is to put the rest of whatever water I can suck out of there through this hose and up through the tower of shower, which hasn't actually been used for about 3 years. I know one of the lights up there doesn't work, but I just thought it might be interesting to let this thing have, I don't know, a few thousand litres perhaps. 2,000 litres, I reckon, anyway, as a minimum. And here's the current thing, is how much rainwater has leaked in 3 years into this pipe. There's going to be some amount of rainwater. You get to see how much. I get to try and jump out of the way. I told you there was going to be some water in there. Bloody good fun having a pet personal fire hose collection. Never know quite what you're going to get. Rocket assisted takeoff. The Rato pump. Had to shift the pumps around, and this is the newbie. So very first thing to do is put the pump housing plug in, and then prime the pump. If you don't do that, it ain't going to work. And of course, you got to have, you got to have the suction hose in place and your connections on. There we go. We have water in the pump. This is probably a good time to point out that we have a large pile of dead algae, possibly 5 or 10 centimetres high, in the middle of the pool, whereas we have quite a lot of visible bare bottom material around the outside of the floor. There's a reason for that. Now I've got to start this pump and let it warm up gradually. It takes quite a while. It's not one of you start it up and use it straight away pumps. It's a start up, let it warm up, slowly ticking over type of a pump. What do you think about that? Chuff, chuff, chuff. I'm going to make some noise and then I'm going to wet this place down at sundown so the water gets to soak in. At least that's the theory. Why not? Let's risk starting up on camera. So it goes to on. Some bloody idiot's left the fuel on. That would be me. Anyway, that one evaporated too much. I'll let too much go through the carburetor. Okay. Switch it to on. Cross around here because change the bloody run of the pull cord again and see what we get. Right, so while that's warming up and coming to its happiness zone, while that's warming up, I get to run out the hose. Having the fire pump and hoses is good, but it's not an instant response. If you want instant response, that's why we have an airport firefighter, aka a water cannon. And that'll give you water at the pull of a pin and the twist of a handle. So we'll see how we go. There you go. It works. Have a look at this. Oh, what the hell? Okay, well, I have no idea what's gone wrong with the expensive adjustable nozzle, but it's refusing to pass water, and I think it's got some seaweed or something blocked in it. However, it's not as if we don't have a short length of backup hose which will still do the job. So we'll see how that goes. Anybody who think there's really good reasons why people like to test their pumps and hoses before the start of the fire season, eh? Bugger you. I'll give you a different view. Okay, that's as much as you can fit into this. And that's why you get a big pile of rubbish in the middle. And now we make it rain. And we see how long it takes to empty the thing. Thing is, I can't repair the bottom of the bloody Buoywall until I get the water out of it. And this is the fastest way I can think of to empty the water that I can't do anything else with. Here it is. It rains on the hut. It rains out to about here. See, here I am. We're all getting wet here. Over there it's dry. Here it's wet. Should run just about along here, although we've got a tree branch in the way there. Yeah, hammers into that wattle tree. So the stuff that should be coming down here and is coming down there, it's just sort of missing out along here. You know, we've got raindrops on the sheet of tin over the top of the wood storage. And yeah, there's raindrops up on here too. A few drops come down here Oh, look, see? That's wetness, that's actual water. That's water. Not enough to stop anything, but to make it a bit more difficult for it to burn. And quite how we fight fires in the anthropogenic global warming mega firestorm El Nino season without copious quantities of fossil fuel refined and ready to burn, Warbles actually has no bloody idea. But it's good while it lasts. I can't think of anything else to do, and I've got to get the water out of that bloody Buoywall tank somehow. This'll do it. And of course, what I really need is another tower right there with another sprinkler right there to protect the shipping container and the new house, my daughter's new house. See, here we have the limits of the rain droppiness. See the runnels coming down the side of the aeroplane trailer? About a diagonal half of that gets watered down. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what's gone wrong with the expensive 5-way adjustable nozzle. You can just about see the line of it there on the ground. As the curtain of water comes down. And we have raindrops on the ground out here too. There's an emergency defence of the clearing. It was the best up with which I could come, which is apparently the technically correct way to give voice to that sentiment. Yes, look at the flatness. Yep, that's where the crackiness is. And if there's any more, I will discover them. And this one is still in an endless right-hand turn. And look how clean the bottom around the walls is now. Yeah. I knew it'd come in handy, that little hose. I use it every now and then. There we go, nearly a millimetre. There we go, and I think that's about 15 minutes. To get rid of about a quarter of that, that sounds about right. 1,500 litres at about 100 litres a minute. And here's one of the funny parts. Guess which silly bastard, one wonders, turned the rain on before splitting the night's firewood. So now we get to cut wood on wet ground. But at least the wood is under cover. And as you can see, if you got 20 minutes to prepare for it, you can make your little humpy too wet to burn. But you got to have that 20 minutes. And the idea is to have that thing up there on one hose. Probably going to have another hose going up there to a second one over there, and that's going to leave me with one hose for running around putting shit out, coming off the third end of it. While this whole thing gives me 130 litres at 130 pounds per square inch to start with, by pulling a pin and turning the handle. So, lots of fun when you live in a fire trap, eh? And I think that's bloody hilarious. Welcome to the Australian pastime of laughing at oneself in a sardonic, sarcastic, ironic, dry, biting, witty sort of a fashion. I'll keep going here and probably make myself a cup of coffee, and pretty soon I'm going to suck the bottom out of that swimming pool and I'll have to switch it off. And none of that's going to be much fun trying to video in what's about to become the dark, because sundown has occurred. The continuous hydrogen fusion reaction has been left behind as we rotate towards the east, and it just dropped away on the western horizon. It's not how a lot of people think of it, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. I hope you enjoyed this unscripted, different style of a video. There it's had a dry day. Here it's been raining. And I hope it looked funny as I was opening the tap on all that stored rainwater. Ciao.